All right, are we ready to start?
Yes.
All right, so hello and welcome to our Friends of Scouting 2021 training. I'm Dean William Mitzel. I'm going to be your trainer tonight. We do have another trainer that's going to be joining us in the midst to pick up for anywhere that I'm missing here. We all understand that 2020 was a difficult year for everybody in the midst of a global pandemic. So that's a pretty obvious situation. So what we want to focus on here is understanding when we get out and talk to units and we're talking to parents in units that we're just going to, make it clear to them that scouting is still strong. We still, even with the global pandemic, there's a number of things that we achieved. We do have a script here. Now the script is about two pages long. And, I suggest you read through it several times. Perhaps, I know back in the old days, we used to use flashcards, big cards. And it might be helpful to make a couple of those with some of these numbers on them, or at least for you to carry a
I still have those cards.
Yes, I bet you do, Roy. So, or a 3x5 card or something. As you come in, you just want to introduce yourself. The best thing to do is, look, we're all here because most of us for our kids, right? And some of us might be here beyond our kids as far as they might have moved on, but we're still here to give back to our community and to the youth and, to have an impact on them, to influence them. And that's why we're all here. But there's a reason why you're still doing this. And if it's because of your kids, there's a reason you're involved in your kids. There's got to be a story that you have, an impactful story. If you can find a story that is touching, like if it can bring some tears to people, that's a good story. That's a good story to focus on, okay? And it doesn't even have to be about your own child. You can see, I could tell you some different stories about some of the kids that have impacted and I've seen and what goes on, but that's one of the most important things. All the facts are all great, okay? But facts tell, stories sell. This is why Jesus taught in parables. He told stories. That's why he's still followed today, 2,000 years after he's long gone, just as an example. But this is something that you have to understand. So find a story that will have an impact and then relate that to, look, it takes more than, just the dues that your sons or daughters are paying right now to run a consistent program. And we do have other means. There's some other donations, but really, Friends of Scouting is a very strong, support arm of your local scouting. Now, all of you, and I'm just going to say that this is what you want to convey. All of you probably have some kind of tax-deductible donations that you participate in, whether it be tithing for church, or maybe a lot of people donate, for example, to St. Jude Hospital. There are any myriad or a number of things. Okay. Personally, over the years, I've always donated to different things, but in the last, say, 5 years, I keep all my donations local. I understand there are many things going across the country, but I'm using this idea that I want to keep my donations local. And so if you can take a little bit of your budget of donating, your tax-deductible donations, and keeping them local to the youth, your youth, the youth in your community, this is how, this is a benefit of not only benefiting Scouts, but benefiting you, knowing that you're helping your local community, the local youth in your area. So you also want to touch on that as well. And you can continue on going about how 2020 was a really tough year, but even with that, okay, the Boy Scouts still participated and contributed over 7,500 community service hours in the Scouts in our Jersey Shore Council. 87 of our Scouts in the council earned the rank of Eagle, which is the highest rank, which is kind of the pinnacle that every Scout is looking to achieve, right? Over 2,500 merit badges were earned by Scouts during this time. Now understand, this was a limited time. People, Scouts were limited. A lot of things were virtual. Zoom meetings was very difficult. Cub Scouts, almost 1,200 Cub Scouts earned their rank advancement. and over almost 700 scouts attended Jersey Shore Council summer camp, and just a little over 600 youth attended Jersey Shore Council fall event. So we were continuing to provide the program to the best of our ability, and in order for us to do that, we do require additional funding. So despite the global pandemic, we're still alive and well, and we want to make this this year even better. Now, at this point, it says pass out pledge cards in our little script here that John has on the screen and that you'll all be receiving. But in fact, you want to get there a little early, and you want to connect with the unit leader, whoever's running the meeting or whatever event you're going to be at, and ahead of time, just arrange with them that you can have a couple of their older scouts to assist in handing out the cards, because the cards have the names of the people in the unit printed on them. Give them out, let them take care of that before you even start speaking. So that's done, and people have them in their hands. Okay, it's always good to have a few extra pens. I know that previously when you picked up the packet, there was maybe 8 or 9 or 10 pens in there, which is all helpful, so if you can keep track of that. So you want them passed out. And then, of course, you have to understand, and this might be good too if we have cards made up, or you should definitely have at least one card made up with this website on it, and that's jerseyshorescouts.org/FOS. And maybe towards the end of the training, John, I'll have you bring that up on the screen so people can look and see what that is. But if you're doing a virtual meeting, which it may be, you may end up doing this on a Zoom meeting, so it may save you some travel time. But if you're doing that, you want to ask people to go to this website, and it's good. It's a good thing if you understand what the website looks like and what the process is for them to donate, so that you can convey that to them, to give them a little bit of insight into how that works. Now, the important thing here, and this isn't always the easiest thing, is to get people to make a pledge. I mean, I've done several FOS presentations. I generally coordinate them all because my time is non-existent, and I know everybody is there, but once in a while I have done one, and I know it's very difficult sometimes for the people that insist on taking their card with them. No, I'll do this, I'll do that. And look, I didn't get every card back, okay? But the goal is to get every card. I say, hey, just make a pledge. If you have it at home, that's great. Let us just have you make a pledge. We'll send you a mailer. We'll send you something in the mail, and then you can just respond to that. That way,
I have a hint for you. I have a hint for you that always worked for me. When I hand out the cards, I remind them that I need to get those cards back, because if I don't get a card back saying one thing or another, then their name will still be on the list. And then when it comes time to do the calling of all the people who didn't pledge, I will be calling them. And I would rather not be calling somebody who can't give than just be getting a card back right now saying one way or the other. So please hand the cards back. Don't hang on to them, or I'm going to be calling you next week or in a couple of weeks when that list comes out, and I'll be calling you all the time because I don't know whether you meant to give or not, and I would rather not be bothering you.
So that is one strategy that Roy has often used, and that's one thing to get them to get
the cards back. Yeah.
I can tell you right now that some of them just say, "Oh no, my checkbook is home. I'm going to send it tomorrow," or this or that. So I mean, you can't, if they insist on it, it's like don't press. But the idea is you want to get all the cards back. Okay, so in the beginning, your introduction, it says here, share what you personally give to scouting. I do all that first before you bring the numbers in, like I did. Share what you do, tell your story, all of those things. That's in your introduction. Roll right into your story. Okay, that's when you want to get them. Then you can start, hitting on some of the points that I hit on earlier, as far as the community service and things of that nature. You can talk a little bit about Camp Sitta and what they've done. Some of the projects that they've done in just the last 2 or 3 years. The Cowboy Action Shooting Range, it's very popular. A 3D Action Archery Range, pavilions built in all the sites. The Sitta Center being renovated and being able to be used as a winter cabin at Camp Sitta, which was previously not an option. I know that my own troop did that before the lockdown occurred. The waterfront changing stations that were installed well before we went co-ed, if you will, to allow for that, and some of the other cool things, the aquatic trampoline, We've upgraded the kitchen and some of the things that's coming on. We're going to be adding electricity to the North Road, rebuilding the boathouse, which is falling apart, upgrading some of the bathrooms to flush toilets, which will probably make a lot of scouts happy and some leaders too. And just renovating the entire waterfront. But all of these things require additional funding beyond our service fee and beyond what you pay to the national council, which we don't really see any of those funds. That's just for your insurance and some of the administration for national. Also, the council service centers where you go and you get your merit badges, your patches, all of those things. The people that work there. I know down in the Southern District, you can specifically reference Nancy Kendrick, who, if anybody has ever had any interactions with Nancy, I call her the goddess of scouting personally, because that woman, she says she's going to do something, and you don't have to follow up after them. Every other person in my entire life, in my business, in any business, if I don't follow up with them and basically do their job for them, it usually doesn't get done. Nancy is somebody you don't have to do that for. She says it's done, it's done. So somebody like that, that's the funding we require. This is what keeps her in the mix for FOS. Now, for those of you up north, you can reference some of your ladies up there. I mean, I don't know if they're as good as Nancy, because personally, I mean, she's top of the scouting mountain for me, but you can reference that. As far as some of the different recruiting materials, we have to keep growing the program, and those things have to be purchased. Recruitment flyers, yard signs, all those things. Friends of Scouting helps purchase them and grow the program, so more and more of your local youth are exposed to scouting. Okay, both boys and girls. Of course, the council website, Facebook page. Keeping the web builders, the web programmers, they've got to be paid. All of these things are things that are supported by Friends of Scouting. We do have a financial assistance program for people who have trouble with uniforms, different things. And again, Friends of Scouting helps support some of that as well, providing some campership programs, scholarships for scouting. That's, if you hit all that, and look, practice. You don't want this to be reading from a paper. You read through this paper a couple times out loud in front of a mirror so that you're familiar with it, so that the words are familiar coming out of your mouth. Then when you're actually talking about it, it's going to be easier for you to articulate what you are speaking of here. 3x5 cards with some bullet points are helpful. If you see what John's scrolling through here, our little script, it's got bullet points already emboldened. So you may put the bullet points on a 3x5 card with a little bullet point with each one of them, just so you can look down and hit it on occasion. This is going to assist you as you go. Look, we encourage our scouts to do public speaking, right? We encourage them to do skits. If you guys have been through any training, any leadership training whatsoever, and especially Wood Badge, then you have been exposed to being a part of a skit and doing skits. So it's really the same kind of idea, the same energy to come out and do some speaking and let them know what, that you're passionate about this and why it's so important. Okay. At the same time, all right, you can talk about some of the things I already kind of covered here, where the FOS donations go, how they stay local, they don't go to national, but also meant to say, look, we understand in the midst of this global pandemic, there are some people that are out of work, have been out of work, and you're struggling financially, and we understand that, okay? And we're not asking you to do anything more than you're comfortable with or that you're able to. Just please return the card, just put a 0 on it, and we completely understand it's okay. However, if you are able to donate, if you're able to do something monthly, that's another thing. You can just give us a credit card or a debit card, and we will deduct your pledge monthly. So it's spread out over an entire year. Simple as that. Now listen, for those of you that are able to and are feeling generous to go with our $300 scout recognition, there is a very special benefit or bonus to doing that. And it really is, for your immediate family, you're going to get, I'm going to start right there and work my way down, because it's a lot easier to go down than to go up. So we're starting at 300 and then you work your way down from there. So we're going to start at the top of the mountain here, if you will. But so we'll go to $300. And look, this is what you get. You and your family are going to be able to attend for the day at Great Adventure. Now, of course, when COVID restrictions are lifted, if they're not lifted this year, you'll still be able to come next year. Okay, it's still going to be good for this donation. You're also going to get this beautiful beach picnic sunshade. Okay, so you get the beach picnic sunshade. Now I do have a question, John. They also get the patch, right? If they do a $300. Just give me a thumbs up because you're
yes. Yep.
Yeah. They also get the patch, and then of course everybody gets the scouting car magnet, no matter what you donate. So just donate something, and everybody gets a magnet. For the $250 family recognition, you get this really cool council strip. Look, trading patches is something that is very popular in scouting, and if you get a patch like this that you can only get by making the family donation, your scout's going to be, hey, look at my cool patch, and they have a really cool Friends of Scouting patch from Jersey Shore Council, and that's your council strip. So you get that for a $250 donation, and of course, for any donation whatsoever, you will get the car magnet. Again, you can spread it out over the entire year. You can choose now. You can give us your credit card information now. If you're not ready to do that, or you don't have a check, you want to send us a check, just give us a pledge. Write on the card what you'd like to pledge, and we will send you a mailer. If you want to pay by check, but you want to do it monthly, we can accommodate that as well. Okay, easy as that. So if you can please just fill out your cards. Most of them should have your names and information on them as is. All you have to do is just fill in what you would like to pledge. If you would like to spread it out over the year, if you'd like to do it on a debit card, or if you have a check right now, we'll take that right now. And then also understand we have a matching program from your employers. If your employers have a matching donation program, you can contact, who do we contact, John? Contact who directly? Sharon? Used to be Kevin.
Yeah, whoever their DE is. Yep.
Okay. So you'll contact Sharon McKenna directly, and I can get you her information, or if I can get your information, I will actually have her contact you. So you can note that on your card as you hand it in, and Sharon McKenna, our district executive, will contact you directly. Okay, and so that's basically it. That's it in a nutshell. Here's the thing: when I say that you want to read through this and practice it, okay, probably going to take you more than 5 to 10 minutes to read through all this. So you can't read through all this. You've got to keep it brief, between 5 and 10 minutes. Why? Because every unit leader asks me that, okay? And you want to engage the kids and the adults. You got to engage both. If you have all kids there, it's just not, you have to have the adults there, obviously, but you want to keep the kids engaged too, especially with your scouting story. So a good one, maybe that'll get them to laugh and or cry, is a real good one to lean towards, but keep it to 2 to 3 minutes. Don't be a typical scoutmaster and go for the 10-minute story, okay? If you've ever talked to a scoutmaster, you know what I'm talking about. Usually it'll turn into a half hour. But keep it 2 to 3 minutes. Go 2 to 3 minutes with, going through your information, and another 2 to 3 minutes to wrap it up, so that you're in between a 5 and 10 minute time frame. And you just ask for people to do their best. There's no pressure, but if you can donate, you're helping your local scouts, you're helping your kids here in this troop and here in your local area. And so that's it. I don't know if Frank Favorzani has joined in the meantime, but I always like to get some input from Frank. Frank is also a very gifted sales trainer and marketer, and he always seems to pick up some of the balls that I end up leaving falling through the cracks sometimes. Are you here, Frank, by any chance?
He is on there. He's muted.
If you can unmute, Frank, I'd like to bring you out for just a second before we wrap up here.
Yep, sorry about that, Dean. How are you?
Exceptional. Welcome, Frank Favorzani.
Well, yeah, Dean, the part that I caught after the board review on my way home was pretty much covers it. It's a challenging time for sure. All the folks on the call, I'm sure, are very dedicated. And, if we bring that enthusiasm and we share that enthusiasm, it is contagious. It's contagious not only in a positive way, but people will will succumb to some of the pressure that we put on for raising the money. And sometimes people see that as negative, but it really isn't, because without those funds, we can't operate as a district, and the program needs to survive. It's going to be a challenge. Sandy was a challenge for our district, and a lot of the districts in the Sandy wake. This is going to be a challenge again. Just the board review I was on today was a challenge, because the boys haven't really been meeting and getting together. So FOS is going to be a challenge, but I think everybody's up to that task, and let's be excited about it, share that enthusiasm, and we should be able to meet our goals.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. And I purposely, John, kept this short too. So you are recording this, and for this recording, it's probably about 20 minutes. I'm thinking maybe a little bit more. So you can just send that out to some of these people. We'll get in touch with some of the people out there. Look, as you're watching this, if you're new and you've never done this before, look, you're providing an awesome service for your boys, the boys in your troop, and your community. And we require you. And I always go with the old adage, many hands make for light work. We're talking about maybe 6 or 7 nights that in addition to what you are ever committed to now over the next 4 to 5 months. But the more of you that participate, the less nights that you'll have to do. Some of you might be able to do 10 nights. Some of you only be able to do 3. Look, whatever you can do will be greatly appreciated and definitely greatly required right now in this tough time. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I'm going to turn it all back to John Brilla now to wrap it up. But I think we've covered pretty much everything. And John, if you want to wrap it up or call anybody else out, the floor is yours.
Sure. Thank you, Dean. One other thing you had mentioned for prior to the presentation. One thing that I've seen that worked really well is getting the unit leader or the committee chair or whoever's organizing the meeting to give their card in first in front of everyone, just to kind of set an example that they're supporting Friends of Scouting. Even if they're not donating a lot of money or any money, just the act of handing the card in shows that they're kind of the gatekeeper for the unit. So if they're supporting it, it gives more emphasis to it. The website that you were referencing is right here, and they can go. It basically has where the money's going, and then down here they can click on their district. So I'll go on Northern Lights District, and it takes them right to the site where they can put their info right in here and donate. And they can do credit card, e-check, even if they can put a pledge in right on this website. So it's very, very easy to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, just make sure you reference just explain to them what district you're in, just to click on that and how easy it is just to put their information in, and that, they can do credit card, e-check, or just make a pledge if they can't do it right now, or if they want to do a monthly. I think it has that. Does it have that?
Yep, it has however you want to break it out. Yeah, frequency,
Yep.
Monthly, quarterly, annually. You can do
Okay.
your amount. And the final thing is I just want to thank everybody for jumping on tonight. Friends of Scouting is critically important to keeping our council going and our programs going. So just thank you for committing to assisting with this project. And that's all that I had. Dean, you had nothing else? Or Jim?
That's it. Let's end the recording. Let's keep it sweet. We don't want to take any more of your time than necessary, so we keep this short and sweet, so that you can watch this recording and continue to impact our youth. So thank you all for doing what you do, and we'll look forward to making 2021 better than 2020. I don't know how much it could get. It couldn't get much worse.
Don't say that. Just don't say that. Thank you so much, Dean, for doing this. I really appreciate you took time out of your busy schedule for this. I know how busy you are. So thank you for doing that.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Dean.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
everybody, for being on the call.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate
Thanks.
y'all.
Have a good night, everyone.